Thunderbolts, asterisk, is the latest movie in the MCU, and it was actually pretty good. Going in, especially after the wet fart that was Brave New World, I was honestly just hoping this movie would be fun and well made, and it was. I feel like as we hurtle towards Doomsday, both in the context of the MCU and the real world, this is what the MCU needed. A fun movie with a solid story about a group of misfits trying to work together to stop a greater threat, aka Marvel's Suicide Squad. And much like Suicide Squad, the movie does a really good job taking these bottom-tier MCU characters, most of whom are from Disney Plus shows no one watched or movies no one remembers, and making them very fleshed out, fully realized characters. Some get more to do than others. Ghost is more so just a plot device, and if you're a fan of Taskmaster and you didn't see the Doomsday cast list, then I am sorry. But Yelena is the heart and soul of the team, John Walker is the angry, hot-headed doofus, Bucky is the leader, and Red Guardian provides a lot of warmth and levity. I like seeing all these egos clash when they first meet up, because it feels like classic Avengers. A bunch of big personalities trying to outshine each other who ultimately have to work together for their own survival. And as the movie goes on and the layers get peeled back, they become more sympathetic and feel more like a proper team. Amidst all the action and humor, the movie is really about depression and coming to terms with your past mistakes. And that is all explored with the character Bob. I might be dipping a bit into spoilers here, just as a heads up, but all the members of the Thunderbolts are pretty fucked up individuals. They all have traumas, they all have checkered pasts, and they all feel very alone. And when Bob gets brought into the mix, he makes them essentially confront the worst things they've done or the saddest parts of their past. And what they have to learn by the end is, yeah, that darkness never really goes away, but suppressing it only makes it worse, and being together brings out the light. It was honestly a more optimistic depression allegory than Woman in the Yard, although that might not be a fair comparison because both movies tackle it in a very different way. I thought the movie looked really good. Some of the CG was kind of wonky, but the cinematography really shined in this movie. There were some nice looking shots. There wasn't a ton of action, but the few scenes there were pretty well done. The humor struck just the right balance, and it didn't do the Love and Thunder thing where all the serious moments were undercut by jokes, which I very much appreciated. The acting across the board was really strong, with standouts being Florence Pugh, David Harbour, and Lewis Pullman. And like I said, the real meat of this movie is the characters and their dynamic. I think the biggest, maybe not weakness, but inconsistency was Valentina. I didn't really know how to feel about her throughout. I mean, the performance was really good. I thought Julia Louis-Dreyfus did a good job. And out of all the appearances of her since she was introduced, I think this is probably the best. But I wasn't really sure how to view her as a villain. At first, she's just kind of a standard corrupt politician, which is ironic considering Donald Trump is also in this movie. And as the movie goes on, she starts to get a bit crueler. But then Bob looks into her past, and I'm like, okay, she's a bit more sympathetic. This could be interesting. And then she kind of goes full Marvel villain by the end. I will give it this, that I was at least interested in her the whole way through, which was more than can be said for the leader. Also, for anyone curious about the asterisks being so heavily emphasized in the marketing, there is a reason for it, and I don't know how people are going to feel about it. I like that it kind of had a meta slant on how no one really knows who the Avengers are anymore, but I don't know if this was the way to go about fixing it. I guess only time will tell. Ultimately, while it might not be perfect, and I don't think it's the best Marvel movie since Endgame like some of the marketing has claimed, I thought Thunderbolts was a really good time. It was fun, it had solid action, it balanced heart and humor pretty well, and it gave us a team of likable assholes to get behind and root for. Even separated from the far-reaching MCU, I thought it was a good movie, and I'd recommend checking it out. So, Marvel is 1-1 on the good to bad scale for their movies this year. Can you be the tiebreaker? I guess we'll find out soon. But until then, I'm giving Thunderbolts Asterix a 4 out of 5.